Hello and welcome back to another video on the Wrestlers Debate and to another edition of Smackdown Out of 10. It's a big show today because we got the World Heavyweight Championship tournament. We got Roman Reigns on the show. We've got a big setup for ahead of this. Is it the Smackdown the Raw Women's Championship feud? So yeah, there is a lot going on this week's episode of Smackdown. So let's get straight into it. We start off with a mega triple threat. Edge v Rey Mysterio versus AJ Styles in the Championship tournament. Styles and Rey teamed up on Edge early on, but the Raystar superstar hit Edge-O-Matic on Styles for a near fall. Rey then dodged the spear and hit a Hurricane Rana before Edge came back with DDT. Edge then got spears on both opponents before AJ and Edge locked in a double submission moves on Rey. Rey Mysterio got out of it and tried for a 619 but missed. Styles then got a near fall off a powerbomb before Rey came in with a sunset flip powerbomb. Edge then locked in a submission on the move on Rey, but AJ Styles broke free and hit the phenomenal forearm, picking up the W. And yeah, this gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Yeah, this was brilliant. Of course it was. Look at the people in the match. AJ Styles getting a win. Big rub for him as well, having considered just come back. I thought Edge might win, but definitely very happy with Styles winning. And just a brilliant match. So yeah, good stuff. 8 out of 10. It was then time for Sheamus versus Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory in another tournament match. Theory sent Lashley outside and heading to the steel sets early on before heading back inside, where Sheamus hit the Irish Curse backbreak on him off a counter. Sheamus followed that with a white noise from the middle rope, but Theory kicked out. Lashley came back with a bleeding forehead and hit a spear on Sheamus and tried for a hurt lock on Theory. Sheamus came back with a bro kick on the US champ, but Lashley sent him outside and picked out the win. Setting up our main event later. And yeah, it gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Probably not as good as the first one, but when you look at the calibre of superstars in it, not a huge surprise to be honest, but still a really good match here. And yeah, I think Lashley winning is the right decision. Kind of gives them 50-50 on Theory as well. And yeah, of course, it was just a really great match with the 3 superstars involved. Grayson Waller was then backstage and wanted to debut his talk show next week on SmackDown before it's time for another NXT call-up. Cameron Grimes in action against Baron Corbin. Corbin got on the mic before the match, made fun of Grimes for being the last pick for SmackDown. Off the bell, Grimes hit Corbin with a cave-in and got the win in under 30 seconds, making an exciting debut. And yeah, I mean, 7 out of 10 from me. I mean, it fits into Corbin's character perfectly, you'd have to say, him getting defeated like that. And yeah, for Grimes, does a lot for him as well, picking up a win on debut, really puts him over to the new fans. So yeah, this was really well done, I have to say. Roman Reigns and the Bloodline were out next, and Reigns praised Takua for stepping up and taking any care of the problem that showed up for the Bloodline. He then said that Bloodline had a problem, but it wasn't Sami or KO, but it was the Usos. Roman told the Usos they had to apologise for not losing 1 but 2 title matches, but be foolish enough to dedicate their loss to the tribal chief. The Usos were confused, and Reigns smacked Jimmy in the face before Jay apologised on behalf of both and said that they wanted to bring the tag titles back to the Bloodline. Reigns said the titles would be coming back to the Bloodline anyway, since at Night of Champions he and Solo will team up to face the tag champs, and they will dedicate their win to Atha and Sika. And yeah, massive match set up for Night Champions. That's going to be very intriguing to see which way it goes. Love the storyline with the Usos. It's all leading to a big blow off, and yeah, that match at Night Champions is going to be banging. So great stuff. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez then took on Damage Control for the women's tag titles. Kai and Bayley were in control early on and isolated Liv in the ring before Raquel was tagged in and hit some big moves. Liv came back in and had Bayley on the middle rope before Kai tagged in and hit a massive double team meteor powerbomb combo. Kai then may have hurt her knee off a dive, and Bayley told the ref to check it out. Sky got on the apron with one of the top tag title belts, but Rodriguez had causing Bayley to knock Sky off the apron while Morgan rolled Bayley up in the ring and picked up the win. And yeah, it gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Yeah, I mean, it was a solid enough match. I don't know, I kind of feel like we've seen it plenty of times, but it wasn't a bad match by any means. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. But yeah, kind of want to move on from this feud now. Pretty Deadly then ran into the Brawling Brutes backstage and made fun of each other as we headed for a break, and after it, Bianca Belair was out next to celebrate her title reign, interrupted by Asuka. The latter held out her hand as if to congratulate the champ, but just as Bianca shook her hand, Asuka hit her with a miss. Bianca was yelling and rolling around on the mat as Asuka seemed to be enjoying herself. Officials came out to take the champ away as we headed for another break. And yeah, this was really good stuff, I have to say. Asuka turning heel kind of feels like long overdue, and hopefully the boost her character needs. And Bianca Belair sold it really well, put it over really well. And yeah, heel Asuka versus face Bianca, I think is definitely the best way to continue the feud that obviously we saw at WrestleMania. So yeah, this was really good stuff, and I have to say, I am really looking forward to seeing where this all goes, to be honest. So yeah, good stuff. And then it was time for our main event, AJ Styles v Bobby Lashley in the World Heavyweight Championship tournament. Lashley sent AJ outside and sent him into the ring post a few times before he headed for a break. Back in the ring, AJ was getting some ball strikes on Lashley and hit the DDT before Lashley started bleeding again. Lashley cans the forearm and got onto the hurt lock before the match went outside, and Styles sent him face first into the ring. Post Lashley counters the forearm again and hit a running power slam on near fall. AJ then sidestepped for a spear from Lashley, who came in the ring post again before Styles came back with a phenomenal forearm and picked up the win. And yeah, it gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Really good match. I don't think it's maybe as good as the AJ triple threat match earlier, but you know, still nonetheless, it was a really, really fun match. And yeah, for me, Styles getting the win, right decision. Yeah, I think him and Seth are going to put on a banging match, and I can't wait for it. Yeah, good stuff. And overall this week, SmackDown gets a 7 out of 10 from me. On the whole, another really, really solid episode of SmackDown, I think. The triple threat matches, Roman Reigns and their Night of Champions is looking very tasty. Just throughout the card, it was a consistently really good episode of SmackDown. So yeah, really great stuff. But anyway, guys, that's it for video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, no thoughts, comments down below. Follow the show for daily wrestling news and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.